This video trilogy is not here to break conventions. It's here to take you on a journey through the history of auriculotherapy, just as I tell it during our auriculotherapy training sessions. Because everyone thinks auriculotherapy, that's Paul Nogier. Yes, that's true, but it's not just that. And I'm going to show you how this technique, which is structured today, especially with Paul Nogier, was originally a popular practice, even an ancestral one. We tend to think that auriculotherapy is acupuncture, that it's Chinese. Well, no. The Chinese knew a few auriculotherapy points, but not much more than that. We tend to think that auriculotherapy is Nogier, so it's from the mid-20th century. Well, no, that's not true either. In reality, it goes much further back, all the way to antiquity. Texts inherited from the Greeks show that they had observed certain vessels appearing on the ear. People who suffered from pain in certain areas. And, for example, if you cauterized these small vessels, in some cases the corresponding pain would disappear. So these were observations. Clinical ones. But you see, this was more than 2,000 years ago. It's a fact. We have written sources on this. These practices were preserved during the Middle Ages. Throughout the Mediterranean region, people continued to use certain points on the ear in practice in some villages. And it's not this cultural heritage that... This heritage came into the hands of Dr. Nogier, who is considered the father of modern auriculotherapy, thanks to his very, very significant contributions to what is now the commonly accepted mapping. No, it wasn't 1950, it was much earlier. In Europe, it was already being used. But how can I explain to you that it was forgotten, that before we used to burn, and today we do it with lasers? Wow, that's quite a gap. How did we get from there to here? We're going to take that journey together. Let's go back to Dr. Nogier, a physician in Lyon in the 1950s. And several of his patients who suffered from sciatica came back telling the same story. They were in pain, so they went to Marseille to see Madame Barrin. She burned a spot on their ear and the sciatica disappeared. It's an observation, it's repeated, so it's not just an isolated case. And Dr. Nogier isn't just going to stop there and say, "Oh, really?" No, he's going to be curious. He's going to ask himself, what is the connection between this little scar on a spot of the ear and sciatic pain, and the fact that you can relieve sciatica by burning a point on the ear? And it is from this popular practice of cauterization of a point on the ear in a very specific case that the history of auriculotherapy was turned upside down. Before we only had a few points. The technique of cauterization, meaning burning, and today we have a complete map of the human body on the ear. You see how? History sped up at the end of the last century, but its roots go back more than 2,000 years. It's true that people talked about cauterizing certain points on the ear, but also behind the ear. Not just for back problems, but also for sexual disorders or male fertility issues. So really, a connection between the ear and the functioning of the body, not just pain. So it's really a very ancient therapeutic approach. So Nogier didn't invent anything in the technique. It already existed, and it's Greek medicine. And all our ancestors from antiquity, all our great authors from antiquity who observed and annotated the effects they saw and which were reproducible. It was noted, it was passed down. In families, of course, sometimes they only knew a single point. And there's a story that I love, and when I hear it, it makes me smile because the place where it happens always changes. Sometimes it's in Italy, sometimes it's in Sardinia. It's the story of a ferryman who, one day, has a pain in his buttock that prevents him from pushing his boat. And people start piling up on his side of the river, complaining that they need to cross, while he answers them, "But I can't, it hurts too much, I can't push, it's not possible." And among the people waiting, someone comes up, looks at his ear, and presses a spot on his ear. "Well, that's strange, it doesn't hurt anymore. All right, the pain's gone, I'll take you across." And the years go by, and a few years later, the ferryman sees the man who had relieved his pain with his ear coming towards him. And he says to him, please, could you show me another point to relieve something else? Because ever since you relieved my pain in my buttock with that spot on the ear, I've done it for other people, and now people come to see me when they have pain in their buttock. Because they know that I know how to press the point on the ear that relieves pain. You see, that's what auriculotherapy is. The act of searching for which point corresponds to which pain existed long before our times. We don't know if the gentleman gave him another point to relieve something else, but it's truly a living story. Is it a true story or not? I don't know. But it shows the use and transmission of certain auriculotherapy points to relieve specific pains. Precisely the same point used by the famous Madame Barrin in Marseille. And it's really this story that will leave a mark on Dr. Nogier and change everything, change his career, because for the rest of his career, he will devote himself to studying the ear. And here, what changes everything is that Dr. Nogier won't settle for just one point to relieve sciatica. That's what Madame Barrin did, yes. That was common folk knowledge. I don't know if she knew other points, but she was famous for this one. He, on the other hand, is a doctor. First of all, he wants to understand why, and he's rigorous. He says to himself, well, if there's a point for sciatica, maybe there's a point for lower back pain, maybe a point for knee pain, a point for ankle pain, foot pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, wrist pain, hand pain. And from there, why only musculoskeletal issues? Why not have points for stomach pain, for large intestine problems? And that's how the exploration of the ear began. And he went on to explain in great detail that he had developed certain complex mappings. However, once he tested them and found they weren't validated, he destroyed them entirely to start all over again. So, as you can imagine, it is an incredibly massive and time-consuming undertaking. He spent many decades meticulously observing, measuring, and then reproducing his findings. And gradually, at first, most people simply didn't pay very much attention to his work from afar. But when the results became apparent, suddenly, yes, it was a revolution. Up until the development of the image of the inverted fetus, the baby head down. Because in his mapping, he noticed that the fists are not placed randomly. The foot is not next to the head. No, the foot. It's next to the ankle, next to the leg, the knee, and so on. There is a continuity, and all the points that act on the head are found at the bottom, on the lobe and on the antitragus, and then we move up along the cervical, dorsal, and lumbar spine, as well as the limbs. And everything is organized like a little fetus, like a small human body. So he pictures it, like a little fetus, with the head down. And that's how we see that he was able to construct a complete map. It's always about that, whether we have everything and whether every area has a corresponding point. That's the essence of his work, and it's extraordinarily rich. And it was he in this way who proposed the first global vision with a little homunculus, a little figure, on the ear. A little auricular homunculus. And that's what it is. The key, the image of modern auriculotherapy. Before, you had one point for this, one point for that. You had a point for the eyes, a point for stress, a point for painful periods, a point for back pain. But no, starting with Nogier, we have the whole body with the points for the head, the points for the back, etc. And so we start from a map. There you go. He proposes a map, he validates it, he corrects it, he completes it, he revalidates it, he observes each case, he does tests, tries things, makes mistakes, and gradually he validates it. And his first presentation took place in Marseille in 1956. To present his first mapping of the ear and the beginnings of auriculotherapy and its spread in France. Of course, China was familiar with auriculotherapy, but only to a certain extent. Points like the Greeks had. One point for this, one point for that. But they were considered acupuncture points, or meridian acupuncture points on the ear. The target doesn't have just dozens, there are hundreds, but it's brilliant, and they tested and adopted Nogier's mapping. And so now that's also the one you'll encounter in China, and it's true that this is what led to its worldwide spread. The French cocorico. Yes, but when it's connected to acupuncture, right away we think, yes, let's put a nice halo on it. Yes, but that's not it. The starting point is just, not even the end point, just a passing point. And that, I find it fascinating to realize that when people say, yeah, auriculotherapy, that's Chinese. No, auriculotherapy is French. Not that either. Auriculotherapy is a traditional technique. Yes, it was known that certain points on the ear have an effect on the body. However, yes, it was a Frenchman who transformed this vague clinical knowledge into coherent systems. Transmissible and taught all over the world. And that's really amazing. Because he started from a clinical observation, that is, an empirical one, which had been passed down, but he added a scientific approach to it. And that's what makes it unique. He didn't invent the idea of its existence, but he was the one who took it seriously and gave it value. A framework in which auriculotherapy was able to flourish and gain its rightful recognition. So what you need to remember is that auriculotherapy is very old, that Nogier did not invent it. He took up and observed a popular practice, but he had the intelligence to recognize its clinical value. And on the other hand, we must acknowledge that he built a complete model. And that is truly incredible, to have created a coherent, reproducible, and teachable system. Thank you to Dr. Paul Nogier. He did not stop there at the mapping. Paul Nogier also devoted an enormous amount of work to communicating with the ear. And his most well-known work today is Nogier's 7 frequencies. And that is yet another revolution in the world of auriculotherapy. It's a vibrational approach, but he didn't arrive at it just like that. You'll see that there's a story about colors involved here. So Nogier's story is far from over. But that will be for another episode. So we continue the great story of auriculotherapy with Paul Nogier, but now with all these stories about frequencies. And if you're interested in auriculotherapy, go ahead and subscribe. We're here to make progress together. If you don't know anything about it and just want to relieve your husband's back pain, we offer training for beginners. And if you're a professional in auriculotherapy and want to keep improving, we host webinars, they're free. We also offer a masterclass and a la carte courses. So treat yourself. I'll put all the information in the description. See you soon.